Mother Teresa once said, "Life is a game, play it." Which is easy enough for her to say, right? She's an actual saint. But what about the rest of us who struggle to even recognize what we're doing or even what we're about at any given moment? How do we get in the game? How do we experience life in a fuller sense? If life is truly a game, as some say, maybe it's easier to think of it as recess. Think back to elementary school. There's a soccer ball, kids, and a field. No coaches, no refs. You probably remember that some kids are on the field playing while some are watching from the sidelines. So why doesn't everybody play? Dr. David Hawkins identified 3 consciousness states that keep people sidelined, which is to say, keeps people from living. These are shame, guilt, and apathy. In this recess analogy, the shame kid, they think they're not good enough to be out there. Their participation would simply ruin it for everybody. This child might even believe that being seen on the sidelines could rob the other kids of their joy, so maybe they hide to avoid being seen. The chance of someone noticing them is just too risky. They could be pointed at with disdain by a bully, further deepening a wound, or perhaps even worse, they get invited into play, putting their inadequacy, incompleteness, and worthlessness on full display. It feels best to hide away and live in their self-created reality where they are no good and life isn't fair. So in the shadows they remain, feeling humiliated, miserable, and despising God for being so cruel. Now, most of us are born with a powerful sense of righteousness. When our misdeeds go unpunished by the world, we tend to subconsciously find ways to balance the scales of justice. The guilty kid decides that they don't deserve to be out there playing with the other kids. Having fun and enjoying life seems wrong, while suffering feels appropriate. They may even become the cheerleader or the coach on the sidelines, rooting for or helping the other kids in an attempt to assuage the heavy burden of blame that they carry. This practice of people-pleasing often gets noticed and appreciated, commonly becoming an addiction. Before long, supporting the other kids from the sidelines is preferred over playing with them. The goodness of their selfless behavior medicates the evil that they see in their past. And this lack of attention to self leads to destruction and decay of self. So, on the sidelines, they remain, growing ever more resentful of the kids on the field, while their self-punishing choices begin to feel like God's retribution. Apathy is the 3rd consciousness state that keeps you from living. This child on the sideline sees the other kids out there having fun, building friendships, challenging themselves, growing, and laughing. But they also see some kids losing, failing, embarrassing themselves, and getting hurt. In a sincere attempt to protect themselves, they buy into a lie that the game is stupid, playing is pointless, it doesn't matter, and sitting out is totally fine. While they may actually feel safer on the sidelines, shielded from potential ridicule, pain, and failure, they're creating a life free from growth, joy, deep connection, and love. A hopeful life starts to dissipate as cynicism grows. Their cynicism abdicates their authority to lovingly create their own reality. If they take their lies far enough, they even cease to see a game being played at all. Life feels pointless and joyless. So most of us will relate to one or more of these experiences. So what do we do about it? For starters, you can go easy on yourself. Your ego is a tool that developed as a result of your early life experiences. Its initial job was to make life more predictable and therefore less threatening. It's there to help immature beings navigate the emotional uncertainties of life, albeit through illusions, false narratives, and attachments. As you grow and mature, you are called to become consciously aware of these ego programs running in the background of your life. Once you're able to see and observe these behaviors as tools and strategies, you can reevaluate their usefulness and make new choices. This is where you can begin to lovingly create your own life and no longer be the victim of past experiences. So if you have questions about this, I'd love to hear in the comments. You could reach out directly to me. I would love to be a resource for you. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for watching. And thanks for participating in your healing.